Hey everybody, I'm Exotic Gaming. Hope you're all having a great day. I don't really know if this video will make your day better or worse, but unfortunately it's probably the latter because we have some pretty serious things we need to talk about regarding Combat Master Mobile. I hope the developers see this video, and I would love if everybody shared this with whoever they can. The more people who see it, the better chance it goes back to the right people. So leave a like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever freaking interaction you can so it reaches the most people possible. Thank you. Now, here's the thing. I want to be very clear before I start this video. I love Combat Master Mobile. I think it's a fantastic game. It's got the craziest movement you've ever seen, awesome gameplay mechanics, great weapons and skins for those weapons, good graphics, fun game modes, it's even got an offline ability, and a lot more. I would highly recommend trying it out if you haven't yet. It's easily one of my favorite mobile first-person shooters right now. However, I can't just sit on the sidelines when some big problems go down, and yes, Combat Master does have a big problem. This problem is something I've talked about in past videos, and it has only grown since then. It's the lack of communication between developers and the player base, and if you know anything about video games, you know it's a big no-no when there's not much communication. A game does not last nearly as long if they just ignore their players, and even though Combat Master isn't completely ignoring their players, there's still a bit of communication. They are communicating less and less, which might eventually lead to that. I was watching a video from fellow YouTuber ABXY earlier today who was talking about this same problem. I wanted to make a video myself to amplify this issue in the hopes the developers take it a little bit more seriously. I know they watch my videos, they comment on them all the time, so they'll definitely see this one, it's just a matter of whether or not they want to address it. To the developers though, I highly suggest reaching out to people like ABXY, for example, who is super active in the Combat Master community to get a better understanding of what's going wrong. I'll leave his video down below in the description. ABXY basically talks about how just in the last day, Combat Master updated the timer on their season countdown in-game from 9 days left to over 45 days left. They delayed the Season 2 update by over a month. And anybody who actively plays Combat Master or has watched some of my past videos know that it's not the first time that they've delayed something. Now, I want to be very clear. There's nothing inherently wrong with delaying an update to a video game. In fact, I would rather wait longer just so I can be sure to get a more flawless game. I don't want a developer to just rush an update for the sake of completing it on time, and then they have to release it with all sorts of bugs and glitches and other problems. This is what a lot of game developers do nowadays, and it really sucks. A lot of big AAA titles on PC and console, think Battlefield 2042, think Cyberpunk 2077, release with so many big issues, and it's almost a meme at this point where you have like a good 50% chance of having some big apology on Twitter from a game developer saying, "Oh, we're sorry, we know our game didn't meet your expectations." Like, dude, just wait a little bit to release it. You can always push back the dates. But there's one important thing that you have to remember if you want to delay the release of something. You better explain really well to your audience why you're delaying it. You can't just update the release date to a later time, not say anything about it, and then expect everybody to be all fine and dandy with it. Now, another thing that I want to be very clear about is the fact that the vast majority of your audience will be good, understanding people. Virtually everybody watching this video would be completely understanding if you provided a good reason as to why you're delaying something. Yes, some people would be mildly annoyed, there might even be people complaining on your Discord, but I think almost everyone watching this very video would rather wait longer so they can be assured a more flawless game with less bugs and problems. I know this from firsthand experience. There have been many times in the past where I've promised a video was going to come out at a certain time for my subscribers. Things happen, I can't finish it in time, and I have to explain to people the issue. A lot of times it's because I get headaches. I get these migraines multiple times a week that last almost a whole day, and it just completely wrecks my entire ability to make a video. Whenever I let people know on Twitter, everybody is super understanding and kind, telling me to not worry about it, get some rest, and I'll be able to the next day. These are good people, and guess what? These are mobile gaming fans. A big chunk of these people are the same ones that play Combat Master right now. So if they're kind and understanding when I have an issue, they'll be kind and understanding if Combat Master developers have one. All the developers need to do is properly explain what the problem is talk about how they're going to tackle the problem, and give us a timeline should everything go to plan. We just want to stay in the know and not left wondering what's going on. Instead, what we have right now is a complete lack of communication between developers and the player base. Earlier today, we literally had to have an administrator from their Discord, not even someone who's a developer, come in to try to explain what's going on. This is exactly what he said. So, unfortunately, it seems like we have a delay again regarding the release of Season 2. This has not been completely confirmed from what I'm aware of, but the lack of communication regarding the delay is something that we were not transparent about in announcements last time, and I would personally like to announce Season 2 is now on another delay this time. I can assure you, Alpha Bravo and the team is working diligently on multiple features that the community has been looking forward to. Please be patient with the team. Thank you. So think about that. That is pretty much one of the highest up people in their Discord server. This should be someone who knows what's going on behind the scenes. But yet, even this person doesn't know what's going on. It shouldn't be their job to have to let people know the update is delayed. That should be the developer's job. Developers should be coming in on the Discord server, providing an update as to what's going on. And better yet, they can do this. What a lot of games like to do is provide an update in the game itself. If a massive update is going to be delayed, there should be some sort of pop-up that appears the first time someone opens up Combat Master. Ironically, I'm going to use Pixel Gun 3D as an example. In that game, when you first open it up, you get a lot of pop-ups. Some of them are annoying, telling you to buy coins, and then there's new bundles, but then other ones are actual important news updates that all players should be aware of. That way, all the players see the message, not just people that are in their Discord server. So, what the heck is going on? Well, one thing ABXY mentioned in his video is there's a popular rumor going around that Combat Master's highly anticipated Battle Royale mode is not connected with Season 2's updates. Therefore, that means we could get Battle Royale before Season 2 comes out. Now, this is an interesting one to me because it just makes sense, in my opinion, to release a big new game mode like Battle Royale in a new season. Everybody's kind of connecting Season 2 to Battle Royale, or Combat Zone as they call it. I guess they could release it midway through Season 1, but I don't think that would bring nearly as much hype to the game as they'd like. I personally think it's most likely going to come out with Season 2, but I guess it's entirely possible it won't. And what happens if Battle Royale is the biggest issue right now? What if the main reason why the game is getting delayed is because of Battle Royale itself? Do they just keep pushing it back further and further until Battle Royale is ready? Or do they release Season 2 without Battle Royale and then bring Battle Royale later on down the line? These are all questions the developers have to answer themselves. I don't know the right answer. However, I can suggest to the developers that at a certain point, if Battle Royale is still not ready, you gotta keep up with other content. You can't go months and months and months without any new content because people will start to get bored of the game. In fact, I think people are already bored right now. You can let me know down below in the comments. There's only so much players can do in Combat Master right now, and you need to consistently bring new content in to keep people entertained. Now, there is another issue that I can potentially see with that Discord post from their administrator. They explicitly say, Alpha Bravo and the team is working diligently on multiple features that the community has been looking forward to. Maybe you didn't realize, but I actually think there could be a problem with working on multiple features at the same time. Perhaps these features are just too big, and there's just too much content being prepared for Season 2. It's taking such a long time to prepare everything, and maybe there's just not enough developers working on the game right now. It's not like Tencent or NetEase is working on this game. If too many features are being worked on at the same time, maybe the team is being spread too thin. What happens if only one person is working on Battle Royale right now? Can you imagine how long that'll take? So this is what I recommend the developers to do. If what I said is correct, and there are too few people spread across too many different things, why don't you focus on one big feature at a time? You don't have to release 10 massive things all at the same time, because I actually think if too many features are released at the same time, the sheer number of them takes away from the significance of each individual one. I personally think Battle Royale is far and above a big enough update for the game. You don't have to release anything else alongside Battle Royale. People would just be happy with that for an update, and probably be happy for several weeks. And guess what? Since, for example, you only released Battle Royale, you can then focus on another big feature and release it relatively soon afterward. So instead of pushing out updates only once every few months, you could release an update every week to 2 weeks because you're bringing much smaller features each and every time. It keeps people entertained much better because there's a consistent stream of incremental new content coming every couple of weeks to the game. It'll allow for YouTubers like myself to make content much easier because there's always something new in the game, and it'll take a big burden off of the developers because they don't have to work on such massive projects for each and every update. I always think it's better to release smaller updates more frequently than wait months and months to release a big update because you're really putting all of your eggs in one basket. You're banking on that one single update to bring such great success for your game over several months. And what happens if it doesn't? What if players don't like it? They waited around so many months for that one update only to be disappointed. Now, you have to spend many more months trying to think up another massive update to try and counteract that bad one and keep those existing players happy. On the contrary, if you released a small update one week and it had some content that people weren't really that happy with, who cares? No big deal. You'll just fix it in a couple of days, and then by the update next week, everybody is happy once again. And if you're transparent and communicating with the players consistently, they'll be able to help guide you much better when releasing more updates for the game. If you wait so long to release updates, you run a real risk of them being outdated when they finally come out. When Battle Royale was first teased in Combat Master Mobile, we didn't even have Project Bloodstrike yet, let alone Warzone Mobile. It would be the first Modern Warfare-looking Battle Royale that we'd have on mobile devices, and understandably, the hype was massive. Since you've been working on the Battle Royale update for so long, people's interests have changed in that amount of time. You're relying on the hype from over a year ago when you're releasing Battle Royale now, and the excitement from late 2021 and early 2022 isn't necessarily the same now in mid-2023. And if Combat Master's Battle Royale releases after Project Bloodstrike's global release, the game runs a real chance of fading into obscurity. They've put all their eggs into that one basket, and they would have been too late. Project Bloodstrike would have taken a lot of the players away from Combat Master, and then Warzone Mobile would take even more a few months later. If they released many more smaller updates over the last year or two, they would be relying much less on the success of their Battle Royale updates, and instead would be able to keep up to date with what the players actually want each and every update. So moral of the story, you need to communicate better with your players, you shouldn't promise things that you aren't sure you can deliver upon in time, and you shouldn't release such massive updates only a few times a year, and instead release smaller incremental updates that keep people interested with consistent new content. I'm not sure if the developers are actually going to do these things, but I think there's a good chance that they will. They watch my videos, and they'll see from the comments that the vast majority of people will agree with what I'm saying. I'm sure people like ABXY can expand a lot more on the stuff that I was saying today. So to the developers, I highly recommend reaching out to your loyal fan base and content creators like ABXY to see what can be done to push the game in the right direction. The game isn't completely falling apart. Let's be very clear about that and not over dramatic, and these are all issues that can be easily fixed. I just want you to be aware of them before it gets too late. Hey, I hope you all did enjoy this video. If you agreed with what I said, please take a second and leave a like and subscribe for more videos on Combat Master and many other mobile games. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you all in the next episode.